If you're a music fan like I am, then this week has been the week we've all been waiting for. That's right, it is Spotify Wrapped Week. Spotify Wrapped is Spotify's annual recap of their users' individual streaming history throughout the year. And I'll tell you, it takes social media by storm every time. Today, we're going to take a look at what Spotify Wrapped looked like this year, my thoughts on it, and why does this year feel a little boring? But before we get into it, be sure to support the show by giving this episode a like, leaving a comment, and of course by subscribing. This is Ziggy the Designer, the show where we talk about the world of graphic design and the people that make it move. Design is all around us, so we might as well talk about it. So if you don't know Spotify, they are the massively popular music streaming service. According to Spotify's own data, their subscriber base is built up of over 640 million users, making them the most popular audio streaming subscription service. And every year, since about 2015, Spotify has provided its subscribers with Wrapped. As we mentioned before, it's Spotify's annual recap of their users' individual streaming history throughout the past year. It's a personalized marketing campaign, to say the least. They present personalized data, like your top songs, top artists, and even more personalized metrics in some years. 2024 was no different. So what did it look like? Well, let's get into it. If I had to put a theme on this year's Spotify Wrapped, my bet would be that the team over at Spotify was probably doing everything under the theme of movement, which it's relevant for music, right? Music brings people to move, to dance. Music itself moves, and it's even a term used in classical music. So this theme of movement, right? I see it reflected in two ways. The first is obviously the use of motion graphics that we see throughout the campaign. It's very abundant. And the second is the use of gradients. We can say that gradients are the ways that colors move, and gradients are also seen throughout this campaign. Combine the two, and we have these animations that move users through data points in their Spotify Wrapped. We have these intro animations, for example, that reveal what part of Wrapped the user is in. It's it's like a standardized way of letting users know, hey, we're in this section now. They're made up of these rectangles that contain these moving color gradients. Where I think this movement theme really shines, though, is in these music evolution portions of Wrapped, right? It's a little more abstract, right? The movement paths of the animations are a little bit more complex. I like this one on the far right in particular because it reminds me of a vinyl record, tying in even more to music. But from a design standpoint, this is all we really got from Spotify this year, and I wish we could have gotten more from them. And I'll say this, right? On a technical level, I don't see anything wrong with the creative work, right? Typography was fine, animations were smooth, color usage was good, but it felt like a missed opportunity. We're coming off of a 2023 Spotify Wrapped that was probably the best looking Spotify Wrapped we've had so far. The color usage in Wrapped 2023, I absolutely loved it. And yeah, I get that when you're following something that's as good as Spotify Wrapped 2023, you're going to deal with great expectations. But Spotify Wrapped 2024 feels like they didn't even try to get there, right? Ultimately, it just looked okay. And being such a high visibility campaign, we've come to expect a certain level of creative quality here. And being just okay should not be the expectation for a campaign of this level. So on top of the campaign design falling flat, I couldn't help but feel bored by this year's Spotify Wrapped. In the past, there have been a ton of great personalization highlights from Spotify Wrapped. Things like your top genres. In 2021, they showed users their music auras. And in other years, they showed how many new artists users discovered, right? These were fun little dives into our music personalities. And those more personal points that we all enjoyed in the past they were traded in favor of these, AI features. This year, Spotify made a bet on AI, artificial intelligence, right? This was the first year that they rolled out DJ Wrapped, where Spotify's AI DJ played users' music highlights throughout the year, or the Wrapped AI podcast, which leveraged Google's Notebook LM to create a short podcast episode commenting on users' Wrapped results. And while I found these uses of AI to be quite fun, I feel like they took away from the point of Spotify Wrapped, and that is to share on social media your music journey from the past year. That's what Wrapped was designed to do. Spotify gets a ton of free advertising from people sharing their Wrapped on social media. And the truth is, these AI features are not as shareable as, say, sharing a screenshot of your top genres from the year. I had a friend share his Wrapped AI in a group chat. It was a 4-minute long screen recording. Joe, I'm sorry, I did not watch that. For Spotify to prioritize AI features instead of those deeper personalization features this year, it made Wrapped feel incomplete, cheap, and lazy. I feel like this year Spotify is going to learn just how much Wrapped relies on social media to succeed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments though. That's all I have for you. Be sure to give this episode a like, subscribe, and share. I've been Ziggy the Designer. If there are 2 things you need to know about me, it's that 1, I love design. And 2, I'm very opinionated. I'll talk with y'all later. Bye-bye.